How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called the Elm Rochester. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, Elm Rochester map. The feature that distinguishes it from other maps is the field structure. It also has plains, like the actual natural elevations. Some lands have lakes and pits. In addition to the river on the map, water is now flowing from the dried up river, but in some low places flooding is observed. This overflow of water provides a slightly more beautiful atmosphere as an image. The beginning of the large estate as farm owned is reminiscent of the birth story of a farm. When you start the game, you will have two pieces of land. One is a small piece of land and the other is a larger piece of land. In this area, you can add all the livestock farms, garages, and warehouses. It is already attached, but if you want, you can sell them all and arrange them according to you. There is not much free space. It is filled with trees. There are not many fields, and the fields are big so you can work a real farm with big equipment and big materials. New houses and new streets were built in the city. New field roads were built. Campground on top right of the map has been turned into a field. Added new rivers. The cave next to the river has been removed. The floor has been leveled and the field was made. On the map, there are large agricultural lands in the lower part of the highway. Small agricultural lands are located in the upper part of the highway on the map. There are two farms on the map and two farms and two farmhouses. The small farm includes garages and silo, and the big farm is surrounded by a fence and there are a few garages and farmhouses inside. The purpose of it being this way is for you to use big farm as you want. The land were reorganized and the large land were divided into pieces. Many vacant, unused land have been evacuated. Some plots are left empty for grass. This map was created by AE Mapping and is 206.22 megabytes to download. If we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. There are no mods required for this map, and you start out by owning farmlands number 5 and 53. Farmland number 5 being a wheat field, which is ready to harvest, and 53 being your starting farm. Now, prices around the map do vary because you do have some differences in field sizes, but unfortunately, some of them also get wrapped up into other fields. So you could have the option to get small fields like these here, but you can see they're all kind of grouped together. So what should be smaller in price kind of fields ends up being really expensive. But you do get certain areas which aren't too bad. 99,000 starting here. We got 180, 274. Let's see. I think we got this. Yes, here we go. 89,000 here. Well, now we're starting to get into the bigger prices. 316,000, 424. So you do have a couple of very small options, but it's pretty expensive land on this map. Let's see. Here's one for 186. Number 9 for 245. So yeah, it's the way that these are kind of laid out is kind of an all or nothing kind of deal. But yeah, you do have a couple of starting options, but then it really ramps up from there very, very quickly. You are not able to purchase all areas of the map. You can see there's areas like the town area here that has the inability to purchase. Down here in the southwest, in the south, out in the east, there's quite a bit of area on this map you cannot purchase. Let's see. Let's go down here. No animals to start out with. Contracts are available. No production chains to start out with, and no collectibles. And unfortunately, there are no mods specific to this map. Nothing under the buy menu and nothing under the build menu. There's nothing in here whatsoever. So because we start out at the starting farm, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. Starting with the owned items, we have the Medium tractors, a John Deere 4755 and a 7810. We also have a Massey Ferguson 3670. Under harvesters, we have a Deutz-Fahr Toplighter 4090H. Cars, we have the Lizard Pickup 1986. Trailer, we have the Welger DK115. The header for the Deutz-Fahr. Cultivators, the Raby EG39. Seeders, the Nordstein HK25 NS3030. Under the header trailers, we have the Deutz-Fahr header trailer, and under weights, we have the Tenwinkel Pack 750, two of those. And let's take a look at the starting farm. Directly in front of us, you can see our sleep trigger right there. Right behind us, water tank, and a silo. That's it. That's the starting farm. That's literally it. On the other side of this fence, there's your starting field. If we can kind of hop up, and yep, you can see that's our field. That's about it. So let's go ahead and hop in the pickup truck and start making our way around the map. You can see a lot of our equipment's just off in the corner over there. We'll come right across the street. Over here we have a rent train trigger right there, because the railroad just runs right beside the starting farm. Now this area right over here looks like it's supposed to be an expansion to your starting farm. You can see have another sleep trigger right here. Back here we have a bale and pallet storage right there. A hay loft right in here, a repair trigger, fuel tank, biomethane refill, a jet wash or a power washer, and 2 electrical charging stations. Whoops, I went the wrong direction. There we go. This is the way I meant to go. So we're just going to head directly south over the train tracks here. Roads are very, very bumpy at some points, so driving quickly can be a little sketchy from time to time. So tucked away back here, we have the Feed and Grain South sell point. We'll follow this around. We'll just keep on following the road until we get right back here. And right here we have the carpentry. You can purchase this for $60,000. You have your input here with your wood cell trigger right here, and then the back is your output. Back in the truck and head out. We're going to head up this way. Travel right next to the train tracks. You can see we have the train silo right there, the load and unload point for your train. A rent train trigger right there. The input and output for the train silo for your normal trailers and whatnot, and a lime station tucked around the backside over here. Now over here, we have a great processing unit. Purchase this for $80,000. Input here, output back here. A debris crusher right there. And right here, we have our oil mill, output, input, and our buying trigger right here. 80,000, purchase the oil mill. Now we'll head down in this direction. So right here, we have the bakery. We can purchase this for $50,000. We have our we have our input here, and typically our output's right here, but I don't see the little checker box for it, so I'm gonna guess that's where it's supposed to be. Let me just take a real high level view, just real quick, just to make sure it's not like across the street somewhere silly. Nope. Nope. And here we're going to make a left and come pull up through here where we have the biogas plant. Let's stop there. You can buy the biogas plant for $1.5 million. Input for your dry, 2 spots right there. You have a biomethane station right there. You have your input for your liquids right here, and your output for your liquids is tucked around the backside right here. Oops. There we go. An electrical charge point right there. And now we just need to continue to follow this around. And a stop sign for some unknown reason. I'm not sure why that's there, but why not? It's there. Okay. Over here we have the spinnery. You can purchase this for $60,000. And we have our input and output right back here. And then down this driveway, directly in front of us, you can see the animal dealer right here. Now, you can come to this location and you can purchase your animals for any pens and pastures that you have placed down on the map. You can also use the same icon at the pen and pasture if you so choose. Now, the problem is that if you use this icon either here or at the pen and pastures, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee that is essentially simulated by the animal dealer delivering the animals for you to your pens and pastures. You can save that fee though by buying or leasing an animal trailer, bringing it to this location, loading directly into the animal trailer. You can then transport the animals yourself and save that fee. Now that fee can be a little expensive depending on how many animals you're needing or wanting to purchase. You can spend up to, let's say, $100 per adult cow. So it ends up adding up very, very quickly. So just a little cost benefit analysis right there. And then on this side, tucked around the back here, you have the animal dealer sell point right there. So now, head back out the driveway, make a left. And now we just follow this around a little ways. tucked away all the way back here is the grain mill. You can purchase the grain mill for $96,000. You have your output here and your input right up there. And now we're going to continue to follow this all the way around. There we go. And now we'll continue to head in this direction until we hit our next point of interest, which is coming up here on the right. Tucked around the backside over here is the sawmill. Now you can purchase the sawmill for $100,000. You have your output here, you have your input here with the wood cell trigger here, and your wood chip output is tucked away in the corner right over there. So now is actually a good point to kind of take a look at where we've been and what we've seen up until this point. Let's go to the map. We started here at the main farm. We saw the sleep trigger, the water tank, and the silo. Then came out here, saw the rent train trigger, went up to this kind of secondary farm here where we saw the other sleep trigger, the bale and pallet storage, the hay loft, repair trigger, the large fuel tank, the biomethane station, the couple of electrical charging stations. We then came down to the south to the feed and grain south cell point, out and around here to the carpentry, up and over to here where we saw the rent train trigger, the grain pool east, which is the train silo, the train portion of the silo, as well as the land kind of trailer portion of it. We then saw the lime station over here, came back out and saw the grape processing unit, the debris crusher, and the oil mill. Came out to here, we saw the bakery, up and around to the biogas plant. We saw the biomethane station as well as the electrical charging station. And came up and around to here where we saw the spinnery, out to the animal dealer and the animal dealer sell point. Went up and around to the grain mill, out to here where we finally came to the sawmill and are here at the moment. So now we'll head back out. We'll head in the kind of west or eastist direction. Turn, whoops, a little too aggressive on that turn. Turn here. And then here, we can pull in. Now tucked away back here, you have the supermarket sell point. Whoa, there's a bump in building there. And then tucked around the back side of this is the fast food restaurant sell point. And now, down this long driveway, here we go. Stop right here. Now, tucked around the back here, we have a wardrobe trigger. You can see open wardrobe. And then over here, we have our shop trigger. as well as a repair trigger right here. Go ahead and hop back in the truck, start making our way around the map just a little bit further. Now here, make a left. Oh, hey, there's a car. And followed by a right. And now tucked in the back here, this is Johnson's Farmers Market. You have a grain sell point as well as a pallet and bale sell point right there. Coming out the side here, we'll just follow this back to the main road. There we go. Follow this over here to right here. We have our cereal factory right here. 110,000 to purchase this. You have your output here, input here. And here we're going to make a right, heading over the bridge. We have another train silo right here to my right. That is the grain silo west. And tucked around right on the back side of it, right there, you see is another rent train trigger. And then back here, we follow this road. You will see the South Valley Biomass Energy cell point with a wood cell trigger right there. And now we'll come back around and head back to the town. Past all this again. Alright, stop here. We have our dairy right here for 70,000. You can purchase this. You have your output here and your input right here. Now continuing to head in this direction. Over here we have the Red Marble Bowling Restaurant sell point. And last but certainly not least, for our points of interest, right here is the gas station. And that is it. So that is the Elm Rochester. Now it is time to render my opinion and let you know what I think of this map. 0 to 5 scale as always. So this one I'm kind of split on. So I'm going to stop here. This is a buyable land area right here. But there's a problem with this. You can see you can buy this number 3 for $97,872. Go ahead and buy that. If we come here, none of these buildings are usable. Not a single one. This is just a kind of static farm, but the problem is that you can also not sell anything. I don't know if you can hear that clicking that I'm doing. I'm tapping on all these. You can't sell it. So to buy this is just for visuals only. It's not usable for the most part. And again, that's $100,000 for something you can't even really use and you can't do anything with. And the main farm is just, I don't know, it's just very minimal, very kind of not much going on. The kind of secondary farm is attached to this land right here, so it's really expensive, almost 400,000 to buy this portion of it. There's very little expansion that you can do on this map, which just really limits the scope that you can do. There's so much area that's just not purchasable. You got a ton of area here in the town, even though there's lots of kind of nooks and crannies that you could theoretically do something with. You could add sell points, you could do things, but you can't. You just can't. The fields are just aggregated to such a degree that makes them very expensive and puts them very much out of reach for a lot of these. I shouldn't say out of reach, but they're going to require a ton of work. And you see, you have a lot of small fields here, but again, 173,000 for 4 small fields, to where or five small fields, to where you could just leave them as individual fields and then just purchase them one at a time, kind of thing. It just, I don't know, there's just so much that I feel is lacking on this map. On top of that, I get severe Elm Creek vibes from this map. There's so many things that just really shout out to me. It's like, okay, that feels like Elm Creek. This feels like Elm Creek. That feels like Elm Creek. But at the same time, there's a lot of differences as well. But it still gives that Elm Creek kind of vibe. And I'm not saying that is necessarily a bad thing. I'm saying it as just kind of, it just feels familiar without being familiar. Like, it's very hard to kind of put my finger on it. But there's just so much about this map that just feels like Elm Creek. The flowers, the color palette is borderline cartoonish. There's so many different colors, and the wildflowers are so tall and they're very prominent, so it's very in your face, the flowers and all the different colors and stuff. So it's very much a kind of, like I said, just that kind of cartoon feel to it. You've got this huge area off to the side here. Again, this is all buyable, but even though this is buyable, you can't do anything with this area here. You can see this big, huge building here, but you can't do anything. There's a grass field right here that you can do and you know, harvest and stuff, but outside of that, it's not really usable. There's just a lot of empty, unused area. And again, just not really expandable when everything's said and done. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that I feel are just lacking, and a lot of things that just leave me longing and wishing there was more of. I do like the topography and the landscape. There's a lot of area that's very mountainous and hilly and twisting and winding, and I like that. And I like how the areas to the north are kind of broken up and very mountainous and hilly. The fields are not that flat. They're very much kind of wavy, and they've got their own kind of character, but the fields are very much squared off, very basic, and almost entry level kind of stuff. So I mean, it would make a very good starters map, but other than that, I'm just not that keen on it. So at the end of the day, like I said, I'm gonna give this probably about a 2 to 2.5, somewhere in that ballpark, when everything's said and done. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's one of those that there are certain things that I wish were here and wish that you were able to purchase. But yeah, I think that's where I stand on it. But I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. That shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.